What's up, guys? And for the last time before the election, I'm going to talk about Helmut Norpoth because you all know he's the guy, the mastermind behind the primary model, which I have covered a lot. And of course, there's a big question because of the pandemic, the riots earlier this summer. Will anything change his model? Will anything change his prediction? And so I made this video today to cover the most recent interview he did with OAN and probably also a bit that of Fox News. So let's get to it.
So here with us now to hopefully provide a little bit more reliability and a look at what we can expect this November is Stony Brook University professor Helmut Norpoth. So Helmut, I'm really glad to have you on the program tonight. I always liked looking at your model because it's historically accurate. And to be clear, it's different than polling. It's a model. And I want to have you explain that a little bit for our viewers and exactly what your model is saying for this election season.
Well, glad to be back with you. Thank you very much. My model gives Donald Trump a 91% chance of winning re-election. I've not changed that. There's no way I can change that. It's based on the evidence from primaries. The early primaries that took place a while ago, people have sort of forgotten about it, but Donald Trump did very well, even for a sitting president. People often dismiss that and said, oh, okay, a sitting president doesn't have a hard time with that, but he actually had a contender. He did very well. Joe Biden did not. Joe Biden did terribly in New Hampshire. He did better in South Carolina, but the average of those two, which is what I have been looking in 2016, before it was only New Hampshire, puts him way behind Donald Trump, who also has that advantage of being a first-term president, which I guess most of us know from our history, means that most of these are getting reelected, and especially if they don't have a big challenge in the primaries.
And we keep getting told, for example, that these are unprecedented times. In fact, if I hear the word one more time, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. And it does make sense. I mean, for example, the coronavirus pandemic is a once-in-a-100-year type of event that did happen to take place during an election year. It seems that our society is in an ever-changing position right now. I don't know if it's a result of social media or perhaps a little bit of our own echo chambers, if you will, when it comes to media consumption. But this year does seem different at all, a little bit to me. Does that change your analysis at all, or do you think that, historical data is historical data, and when we look at how incumbents do, that's hard to dispute?
Well, it's hard to say that something like that would not play a role. But I think most people who do this kind of forecasting would have a very difficult time of sort of taking that into account, because you don't have a thing like October surprise or natural disaster, et cetera, where you can just plug it in and see how it has worked in the past. We don't know. And I don't think it is very clear from the very beginning how something like that should play out politically, because it's not a typical political issue, how to handle something like a virus outbreak. We're really in uncharted territory. So I'm not sure that we should pay all that much attention. And I think if you look at the polls, whatever you may think about the polls, they haven't really shown a great deal of shifting when the virus outbreak took place. And in the polls, Trump has been behind Biden all along, long before the pandemic. And, he might have gotten a little bit more behind, but it sort of goes back and forth.
If you're one of those guys that view all the people that show up at the Trump rallies and think that he can't lose, Biden has zero enthusiasm, Trump has a lot, well, then this professor might have just confirmed your suspicion that Trump is doing much better, actually, than the polls may tell you about. While I'm not going to be sure about anything before all the votes are counted, I do believe that this should remove a lot of doubt from all those people who are unsure about how things are looking. Certainly Trump is very favored to win in states like Ohio, Georgia, and Florida, but he is also very, very likely to be able to win on a national level, not the popular vote, but of course through the Electoral College. Now, as I am recording this, the Senate is talking about confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett, and it is probably going to be happening within the next hours. I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope everyone is getting ready for the election. It's going to be an exciting night, even though we might not know the result for many days after the election. I'm looking forward to it. And before I end this video, I want to show something else that I noticed on Helmut Norpoth and his theory. This from Fox News.
Let's talk about the stakes right now with the professor of political science at Stony Brook University, Helmut Norpoth. Helmut, it's good to have you back. Thanks for being here. The last time we spoke to you, you told me that you thought it was going to be a resounding win by President Trump.
Now, you gotta love that guy. Now, that's the worst green screen ever. Also, before I end, I should of course talk about the other guy who I've also covered a lot on this channel, Alan Lichtman, and see if he has written anything new on Twitter about the election. Real Donald Trump says New York Times report on his non-paying taxes is fake. Okay, so I don't know if Mr. Lichtman has posted a new update on his prediction. I think he's far too busy in trashing Trump on Twitter. So, I mean, he is dealing with Trump using his own medicine, you know. So, won't complain that much, but it wasn't really educational today. Anyway, that's all I had for you guys. Please like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.